which is a hop jig, and then the leap from quick step, which is another type of jig. Scottish air, the cattle fold of Kintail, and then a reel from Shetland called Willowfjord. But we play it with a little different rhythm than they wanted to hear it for dancing in Shetland. You'll see. Yeah.
They'd be very confused.
Oh, yes. Got it.
sure you know, he's nodding, Fred is nodding in agreement, everybody knows him. He lived right around, he died in 1730, so it has kind of a little bit of a Baroque feel. And he was, at the age of 18, he became blind, so I have no idea how he could play the harp because you really need to see the strings. So I think he probably fished around quite a bit, made a lot of mistakes, but we don't know that for sure. But he did compose quite a lot of music, and this one is composed for harp, but I really like the way it sounds with whistle. So Laura is going to play a whistle on this with me because it has just a sort of sweet little enhancement to this tune called Carolyn's Draft. And we're never really sure what draft is referring to. What do you think? That's not everybody thinks that. That's great.
This medley starts out with an air from a song in Scots Gaelic, Príomh na nGaedheal, and it is in praise of the apple tree. It's very beautiful, and it at one point it says, For the apple tree, it is mine, and talks about its strong branches and sweetest apples. So some say the song isn't really about the apple tree, it's about her man. So that could be true.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then we go into a song from Scotland called Puin Bracken, pulling bracken or pulling ferns. And it was originally in Scots Gaelic, but we do it in English, a selection of verses anyway. And it's about a young lad and a young lady who happens to be a fairy girl that are having a love affair. And you can imagine that really isn't going to work out too well. So she is spending a lot of time just waiting and waiting for him to appear, and pulling ferns just to keep herself busy. Anyway, so it's called Puin Bracken. Sometimes it's called Ha Mi Ski, or I am tired.
And I don't know if any of you are gardeners out there, but haven't you been pulling a lot? A lot of pulling these days, a lot of pulling of weeds, not so much bracken.
instruments is thirsty work.
Well, while she's being sated, I will talk to you a little tiny bit about this harp because it's a little unusual. First of all, it's red, which we love, and it's actually not made out of wood. It's well, part of it is wood. Don't look so surprised. The soundboard is wood, okay, but the rest of it is carbon fiber. It's kind of like fiberglass. And I bought it because, well, look at this. It only weighs 17 pounds, so it's just so great. You can just see, it looks like it's all black on the inside. I like this. I shouldn't tell you what it weighs, so you think I'm really buff. But anyway, so that's this harp, and I got it. I've had it. It's almost our 2nd year anniversary, and so it is still a lever harp, titanium levers, lightweight, and it's just such a joy to not have to schlep around a 30-plus harp. And then, of course, I do play the pedal harp, and those are 85 pounds. So that's yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but we move them anyway. Yeah. So what are we going to do now? We're going to do we're going back to Scotland. I guess we've been to Scotland, right?
Yeah, we're going back.
Or we're going back.
We're staying there briefly.
Right, and then we're going to, since it is Memorial Day almost, I always think of somebody. The next tune we're going to do is the Braes of Achiel, and then we're going to play a tune called The Martin Wen, and that song has special significance for me. Carol knows why.
right, now, the Green Castle and the Rights of Man.
We like this one.
And it's just really old-fashioned dancing. It's very dancing.
And we're old-fashioned. Okay? garden lately, pulling bracken. In fact, I had to stop because I had to put some Voltaren on because I was getting a little too vigorous. So this is a tune called the Sally Gardens, and this Sally actually is the word for willow tree. So it's not about a person named Sally, it's about a willow garden.
And so I'll do a selection, especially for
This is truly one of my favorite tunes.
those days, there was a really strong community of folks from the Isle of Lewis and the Outer Hebrides in particular, and they emigrated to Duluth for various reasons, and they all still spoke Scots Gaelic. And there was a club where they'd get together and sing songs and speak Scots Gaelic, and I think it wound up maybe in the early 50s is when the club kind of faded away, but it was strong. And there was a wonderful singer there, and a very famous American folklorist came to Duluth to record this guy, John Matheson. I was gifted with a digital copy of his field recordings with Raw, and we had a project with Andrea was in, where we got to kind of bring them back to life and arrange them and play them with her.
The rest